Hello, I'm Elgato, and welcome back to the video. Today let's talk about Minecraft villages, because have you ever looked at one of these things and just wondered why they look so bad? If you look around any of the buildings, any of the structures you can find around here, they all seem to have this same exact feeling of like, something is a bit off here. And you might just immediately think like, oh yeah, well clearly they just look bad because Notch or Jeb, whoever designed them, was just really bad at making structures. But the truth is, this is something so fundamental to Minecraft, so fundamental to the world generation, and you know, it's not that the Minecraft developers have bad skills, so why do villages look the way they do? Why are they so repetitive? Why are they so semi? That's something I figured I would explain in today's video, because I heard a theory, on a forum that was like, oh yeah, well they're designed this way so you can customize them, and I did a bunch of research into how villages were originally intended to be by Notch, and I found some interesting results that hopefully you all do enjoy hearing in today's video. So please do like this video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel and lets me know you do like seeing the original reason for villages, and lets me know you like seeing exactly how you can use them. So let me go straight back to the very first image of villages we ever did see, because I had to do some real digging back into 2010, 2009, 2011 of the Minecraft days, and this is our very first image from over 7 years ago now that Notch actually did decide to share of villages. So as you can see, this NPC village you're seeing in this screenshot right here is very different to the one we ended up seeing. It has like, first of all, it's much more spread apart than a normal village. Second of all, there's mossy cobblestone involved. Third of all, they seem to dig into the ground a lot more. Maybe that's intentional, maybe they just have different heights. And then also you can see the design is just different, there's no staircases, and basically you can see these buildings are very, very basic, and they're also, like they're also just spread way apart, and they don't have anything to them besides they're just houses here, and there's nothing else going on there. In case you're curious, like, oh yeah, but there'd be villagers, right? Nope, back when villagers were first intended to be introduced, there was no villager concept allowed, and even in this second, one of the first interviews Notch did, where he spoke properly about villagers, this is all he said about it. So, yeah, IGN asked a billion questions to him, again, back in 2010, and his only response was, I'd rather keep this a secret throughout, but I will say you can choose to either help the villagers or destroy them if you want. Again, villages, not villagers. No villages, no villagers to, speak of, none of these guys, just villages that you can find in the wild that you can choose to help or that you can choose to destroy. And this is, again, a really interesting quote, because villages as we think of them today are now these areas where you go to find, again, these trades, to do all these different things, to maybe find some loot, but, as they were originally designed back in the day, they were just kind of meant to be houses that you can choose to help out, or you can choose to not help out. And the thing that, made me most lean towards the idea of, because again, both these things right now sound a lot like, that theory of like, well, clearly they were designed to be, like customized in some way, but here's this third clip that really kind of sold it to me. This is one of the very first gameplays of the village update. It was from like, a games convention, so the quality is really bad, but basically, the interviewer asks him a bunch about villages, a bunch about his, like goals for them, and what he wants them to become, and yeah, I think he even asked like about villages that you can speak to and stuff, and this is Notch's response.
I would prefer it if you couldn't. Jens wants us to be able to.
Okay. So as you can see right there, he basically says that like the way I wanted villagers to be is slightly different to how they're coming out. However, Jeb wants some very different things to me, and that is what I think to be is the most interesting thing here, because obviously Minecraft villages, as we know them right now, are these structures where you find villages. But I think based on Notch's first preview of the villages, based on what Notch said about the villages, it seems like they were originally intended not to be these sorts of things, but instead to be these things you can find in the world, and then again you can kind of use to your own ability. Because bear in mind, Minecraft is a game that is ultimately, first before anything else, it is ultimately all about the customization you can do. It's about building your own things, it's about mining, it's about mining and crafting, but, it's about doing these different things in Minecraft, and having villages that exist in their own RPG mechanic way doesn't really blend with that when you really get down to it. So, that is what made me really realize that, yeah, based on these three things alone, I feel like any one of the three would really sell you on it, but just based on these three things combined, you can really get the impression that the goal behind Minecraft villages is not just for them to exist and be like, look, there's some plants, and here's like a slightly badly built house. Instead, they're kind of designed to be a really monotonous thing, a thing that anyone could build if they wanted to, but then they have a consistent design, even across the biomes. Now they've changed the wood, they still have the exact same design, they just fit into the various biomes better, which makes me believe, based on all of that combined, that the ultimate goal for villages, maybe it still is with Jeb today, maybe it was only how they were originally intended to be, but I still feel like the ultimate thing you can do with villages is to customize them and make them your own. Because think about it, when you go for a village, again, you're seeing a lot of samey stuff. There's no point leaving it exactly how it is, unless for some reason you like the original design, but instead you can slowly customize them and you can make them better. And that's one of the things that I've been a big advocate for, as like a fun little, oh yeah, I did it as a side project on this channel. So here you can see, these are some of the things I actually did build. As you can see, it is a Minecraft well, but it's a slightly customized Minecraft well. It looks, if you built this from scratch normally, and Minecraft Minecraft villages didn't exist, this would be a weird well, but being able to customize the thing that exists, even if you just use a few simple blocks, like I've just used a few simple half steps right here, as you can see, it really changes massively the perception of things. It makes like the slight customization makes your village yours. It makes it unique, despite having the same rough templates as all the others. For instance, I did a few other weird things, like here's a house made out of like nether blocks instead. Here's a blacksmith made out of nether blocks. There's a bunch of weird things I've done, but I think a few of them you can look at and say, yeah, actually, I quite like that. So for instance, here is a blacksmith. As you can see, it's gone anvil instead of the slabs. Which by the way, notice how even after they introduced the anvil, they still left the slabs in the villager. By default, you just have slabs here because you can change that. You can make it better. They leave only a couple of bits of lava here. You can change that if you want to. I added a chimney to mine, and look at that. I kind of like that. You can change the interior of all your buildings. You don't have to have the exact same things there. I've got an iron door in mine to make it more secure. You can do anything you want to any of these buildings. I had a lot of fun like customizing all of this, and I feel like this is what villages are really meant for, because think about it, Minecraft villages are like the most basic form of a town, and it's your goal if you want it to be. Again, you can find them rarely, and you can ignore them if you really want to, but it's your goal if you want it to be to go around and to change them in ways like this. Look, I made one of the village houses, which again by default kind of boring, into a guard tower. Isn't that way? I think it's more interesting. I made these like this triple house thing where lots of villagers live together, and the thing is the crazy thing about this that really confirms it's true is the fact that the villager mechanic, which as we all know you can just make apartment buildings, there's a really simple design shown up before, but basically their breeding is based on the number of doors you have, or houses, because doors have to have like essentially an inside and outside, which means that you have a more successful village the more you build in it. That's right, the entire village mechanic, even though like it went a bit weird when it first came out, it's just here to have a bunch of like built base ideas that you can work with. You can leave how they want, or you can kind of expand it and turn it your own thing. You can build your own colors of them, add your own doors, you can change anything you want to, and that is the best thing about villages in my opinion. So here we have, by the way, I decided like to just scale up a blacksmith chest. Do you like it? But all these different things you look around here and you can see, they all have the exact same thing of like, yeah, if you take something and you customize it, you make it more interesting, and that's what Minecraft is all about. They changed Minecraft from being a game where you can just build what you want to being where you can customize what already exists, and I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily understand this. And also, a thing that's worth mentioning is you can destroy your village if you'd like to, and I thought this was really funny because just before we go here is a fun little aside, I guess, one of my favorite things to do is these recycling challenges. I've done them in survival for the Ocean and the Mansion, but one of the very first ones I ever did was I destroyed an entire Minecraft village by hand in survival. Did I need to do it in survival? Probably not, but I did it by hand in survival, and then I decided to redistribute the results, and I made this. It looks terrible, don't get me wrong, I know that. There's a whole 40-minute video if you want to watch the step-by-step construction, but the idea that you can take it apart and then you can use the resources for your own and make your own little, what even is this, like a mini mansion? That's kind of crazy to me, and that's really quite the amazing thing that you might not necessarily realize about Minecraft villages. So yeah, Minecraft villages were intended to be something a little bit different to how they were today. Minecraft villages as a concept which you can really trade with, not something that was really intended. Instead, they were meant to just be these buildings that you could look at, you could help them out, and you could work with. Again, maybe you could breed with some of the villagers, and like they'd somehow have a reward once they got to a certain number. But they're always meant to be a thing that you could always help out in some way, or you could just destroy it and work with your own thing. And that's just something interesting that you perhaps weren't aware of before today's video. So I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did or like this video, please do like it and let me know. Share if you liked it, subscribe around here, and also if you want to see some more stuff about villages, because it's one of my favorite little things. First of all, again, I did the reconstruction of like recycling a village. If you just YouTube search that, or again, YouTube makes it hard to like find stuff specifically on my channel. But if you go to my channel and you search for recycling a village, you'll probably find it right there. It's like a 40-minute thing. I had a lot of fun making it. Maybe you want to watch that. But also, I've done a few of builds about villages in particular, so I'd recommend you check those out if you want to learn how to make something like this or that. And again, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter in particular who have been really enjoying playing around this sort of stuff, and it's something I want to do a lot more of now, because now I realize that's kind of what they were meant for. It makes me feel a little bit more satisfaction to be like, yeah, wouldn't it be nice if we had a village that's not just, oh yeah, village plus apartment building, which is what I've done in my survival world, but wouldn't it be nice if you could take some of these default buildings and just make them a bit nicer to make your village into a town, or make your village town into a city, or however you want to do it. It's a cool little thing you can do in Minecraft, and it's something that I think most people didn't even realize. So thank you very much for watching today's video. Like it if you did like it, share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.